This ceiling, we need an entirely new joist system.
So we buy these really sad houses.
Holy moly! A little worried about the slopiness.
Just needs to be gutted.
And then there's this day
Look at that!
where the house is happy again.
You just say, every time I walk into my parents' house to visit, they are playing this show. That was a clip of one of HGTV's hit shows, Good Bones, with host Mina Starsiak Hawk.
Yeah, so the show is in its 7th season, to tell you how good it is. And now Mina is taking her home renovation talents to a new avenue, a picture book. So we do want to welcome Mina. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm so excited how this show helped you really get into the zone of creating a children's book. We'll get to that in just a moment, but let's talk about the show first. When you walk into the homes with your mother, how do you know if it has, what you need, these good bones, as you call it, or have you ever just said, oh no, I'm out. There's no way this is going to work?
Most of our homes actually don't have good bones. It's kind of... what we say is it's the neighborhood that has the good bones. So, because you can renovate a house anywhere, but if you don't have people around it that care about the area, then it's just going to fall into disrepair again.
Totally.
Because we don't have good framing or foundations or any of that stuff.
Gosh, I just bought a house and I would walk in and be like, well, this has fantastic bones. I had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, it just looks like it has good bones, but I didn't even know what that meant. Like, you'd have like this crazy wallpaper. But I want to talk about the pandemic, right? Because it affected how people were showing houses. It's affected how people do renovations. How has it affected your work?
We're a little bit unique because we're not doing like homeowner renovations, like,
right.
A kitchen update. And everyone was required to, quarantine at home. And a lot of the homes we're renovating are already under contract and people are relying on us to finish them so they can be at their new home. Construction never stopped. Filming did for a while the production team kind of figured out a new normal with, as far as protocols, regular PCR tests, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was down for about 6 weeks, but construction kept rolling.
Absolutely. Things keep happening in your world, clearly, with this new book out, Built Together. How did you work on homes really inspire you to create this book?
Well, it was probably having kids was the most, having Jack was the most inspirational part, just thinking about, what kind of adult I want him to be. I want him to be kind. I want him to be accepting, inclusive. And then my experience growing up, my family's very yours, mine, and ours. And I think even now, so more that idea of being able to respect people's differences, even if they're not, what you would do, was kind of the idea behind it. So it's a fun way to teach kids from a young age that your family can look like anything. Whatever works for you, you can build it. Just like you build a house, you just have to start with a good foundation, which is kind of cheesy, but a good message.
No, it's not cheesy at all. It's such a great message.
Yeah, the book draws, like you said, your own stories, working with your stepfamily, fostering your niece, adopting rescue dogs. So I think it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, okay, my family's represented in a book, and not all families come in one shape and size. Everything is different.
Yeah. Yep.
Mina, let me ask you this. Asking for a friend. You're looking to renovate your kitchen, right? You don't want to spend a ton of money. Do you paint the cabinets?
Yeah. Yeah. If your layout is good, that's a really the most cost-effective way versus replacing them all. You just want to make sure if you're doing it, honestly, you can get on YouTube and learn, tips and techniques, but wanting to use the right kind of paint, the right finish, but that can make a really big difference. That and swapping out some hardware.
Working with your mom, I've watched the dynamic. You seem like you guys get along and then you disagree sometimes, especially about paint colors. I don't know if I could be in that kind of relationship with my mother each and every day. How is it like working with your mom?
It's love-hate all the time. Through my whole childhood life, pretty typical mom-daughter relationship with, youthful angst and whatnot. But yeah, we definitely, especially now that she's semi-retired and I technically own the company, her opinion matters, but vote doesn't necessarily count.
You pulled the Trump card, didn't you, with that ownership? Okay.
Well, and she gets wild. She'd spend all the money. She'd build a house out of glass block, and she has great ideas, but I usually have to, unfortunately, turn a good chunk of them down because they are not cost effective.
Right.
Oh, I hear you. Hey, but hey, at least the mother-daughter relationship is still going strong, because
go.
at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Mina,
That's
thanks
right.
for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for inspiring my mother to think that she is now a home renovator as she continues to call me with ideas.
I hope your weatherman was wrong and you guys don't get a bunch more snow.
Mina,
Right?
me too. You and me
You're
both.
dealing with a lot.
Exactly.
I know. Mina, thank you. We love you. Mina's new book, Built Together, available now. Mina, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Mia. Mina, thank you. Built Together, out now. Very, very cool.
Such a great message, too. And I love how we're seeing that families, they're changing, right?
Absolutely.
And they're highlighting the fact that it doesn't have to look like one singular way.
Yeah.
So good for her.